Welcome race fans. Ron here from Bigg Wizurd TV. We're live on the air with East to West Racing, and we are running hard here at Barber Motorsports Park. We have 15 drivers on the racetrack in the session here for the East to West Racing GT3 Challenge here Sunday night. We're racing here with you live. We are sponsored tonight by Stair Fittings Incorporated, Stair Fittings Inc. for all of your stair parts and woodworking needs. Also sponsored here at East to West Racing by JNR Craftworks, makers of fine products. Oh, there's a little bump there. Finishing up our practice session. Also want to put out a shout out to our sponsors at Grandpa's Kitchen. Thank you, grandpaskitchen.com. All that you guys do. Gluten-free flour out there, 1-to-1 swap out for you, and that will give you baked goods that you have not been able to find in the past. We like to say 15 drivers. Kyle Robinson throwing down the quick time, 120.8, along with Kevin Cantonio, 120.8. Emmett Lindquist, 120.9. Everybody else chasing. We got quite a few cars in the 121 range. But that is going to do it for the 120s. We got 30 seconds left in the practice session, and then we'll jump into qualifying. We have for our standings. Let's take a look at the standings as they go so far before this race begins. Kyle Robinson out front by 38 points. Now just think about that, because you get 350 points for a win. So 38 points is very, very few. Brandon Dooley in chase. Richard Hibbs in third spot. Richard not on the track tonight. Josh Bailing is on the track, running in fourth so far in practice, and he is fourth in the points. Emmett Lindquist fifth in the points, followed by Jason Rabe, Morgan Teggy, who's missing tonight, Richard Wishon, Philip Scott is back with us after a few races missing. Kevin Cantonio up near the top in P3 as they jump out to start the qualifying session. Barber Motorsports Park is the place. GT3 cars is the action. We've got 8 cars in class, but it looks to me like the Porsche, the new GT3 Porsche, is the dominant car of iRacing at the moment. Looks like of the top 7 drivers, top 8 drivers, 6 of them are in the Porsche. We got a couple Ferraris out there, BMW, Ford, GT with Mooney, who just finished second in the previous race. So we have 8 laps of qualifying here. They get 15 minutes. They'll probably do this warm-up lap. They'll spread out a little bit. They'll get out there and do some laps. Probably do 2 laps on this set of tires. They'll probably go back in the pit lane, grab some new tires, and try it again. Josh on the point so far on the leading spot on the racetrack. Coming around turn 15, getting ready to go across the start-finish line for his time lap. And here it is. Josh, followed by his teammate. Oh, that's not his teammate. That's Richard Wishon, followed by his teammate Jason Rabe and Brandon Dooley. Out there pretty much together on the racetrack. We got those guys. Also, Ryan Fry just out in front of these guys on his outlap. And Rick Wishon. Rick Wishon did really well in the last race. I don't see our last race winner, Brett Fay. I don't see him out here on the racetrack, nor Brent. Brent was in the last one as well, and I haven't heard yet anything from race control, so I'm not sure if they have made it. We're supposed to have him out there. Don't see him in the booth. We don't hear him on the track, so we'll have to keep an ear out for those guys. 15-minute session here to start the qualifying. Everybody out here on their first time lap. There goes Josh. A little wide, spins, tries to stay off the racetrack. And does. As we watch Richard Wishon now on the front. of the field coming around. He'll be the first one to set a time here as we watch him go through the final section complex here in 15 and 16. Tricky corners out here, tricky corners on this racetrack, and Richard comes through and sets his first lap. 121.8, Jason with a 121.9, Brandon with a 122.1. First lap isn't usually it. It usually takes two. Kevin Cantonio, 121.5, jumps up to the top of the chart. So far, still quite a long way to go. Carl Ribbing, Jeff Wyatt doing their warm-up laps. I think you're going to need 2 laps minimum to get the car where you need it to get your lap time. I don't see Kyle Robinson on the racetrack. Yeah. Kyle Robinson leading in the practice session has not gotten his car yet. So that'll be interesting. The fastest car out there not racing. We'll see if he joins us here. Carl Ribbing comes around, does his second lap, 123.7, pretty good lap for him. Puts him up to 7th spot. As they go across the line, Jason takes the top spot. Jason Rabe with a, and Kevin takes it right back. That is a swap, and Kevin is done. Like I said, 2 laps. They're probably going to be done. They're probably going to finish up 2, and then they're going to go back in. Here comes Emmett Lindquist in his Porsche. Puts him in the second with a 121.420. Rick Wishon in P6 right now, 122.4. About a second off the lead. Pushing hard, trying to get his best lap time. And we've got Kevin, Emmett, Jason, Richard, Brandon, Rick, Greg, Carl, Jeff, and Mooney are in the top 10. We're missing a few drivers this weekend. And they are for points. Michael Mooney just jumps up another spot into a 124.0 ahead of Jeff Wyatt. This is Rick Wishon going wide as he's trying to get his laps. Richard coming across the line, followed by Jason Rabe. And Brandon Gould. Brandon pushed back down to 6th here. We'll see if he can improve. Jason Rabe goes to the point. Richard pulls into 4th spot. Brandon stays in P6. Jason Rabe 121.2 is qualifying. Heating up. Ryan Fry just threw down a lap in the 616. Ryan's out there also in the BMW. I don't like this camera angle anymore. Ryan putting down a 123.263. On his lap. P10 so far for Ryan. Carl Ribbing, P11 in the number 44. Mooney in the number 88. Down to P12, but he's at a 124.0. Jeff Wyatt, 13th. Kyle Robinson. Has Kyle Robinson entered the racetrack? He has. Kyle Robinson, quickest in practice, 120.8, is now on the track. So we'll see with a shortened qualifying session, just 8 minutes for him. See if he can get his time where he wants it to be. Here comes Brandon around turn 14. Pretty tricky blind corner there, the 12-13 complex. You kind of start it blind and then up and over the hill. Let's see if we can get with somebody that's going to do another lap. Try this guy. We'll go to a cockpit camera. Here comes Kevin around the last turn across the start-finish line as he dives into turn 1. You'll see how blind some of these corners are. Turn 1 downhill, left-hander, right hand, slow right-hander here for turn 2. Big entry into turn 3. corners is so long. Up over the hill and then into the hairpin. This is turn 5, tightest corner on the racetrack. Hard on the brakes, tight into the hairpin, along the apex. And back on the gas as he exits turn 5. Little kink of turn 6, and then comes the corkscrew. Turns 7, 8, and 9 here. On the brakes. Down to first gear, right-hander, and hit the gas again to get going again. Through the chicane here in turns 10 and 11. Let's see if he has to lift or if he's got this thing set. He lifts just a little bit. Coming across turn 11 and then down into this blind left-hander. You can't see the apex until you start the corner. And then you try to get all you can out of 15 to get as wide as you possibly can. Exit. Turn 14 and then around down to second gear. And turn 15 and then right back up to the start-finish line here after turn 16. Stay hard on the gas, go as wide as you need to there. And there's a lap from Kevin Cantonio. And that did not improve his time though. And that's not going to either. As Kevin off the racetrack. Let's go check in with Kyle Robinson in the 28. As Kyle spins, coming out of the kink, out of the chicane there. Everybody's having a little bit of issue here, trying to keep it all together. Kyle with one lap counted, 121.1, takes the top spot. I guess he was ready to go when he got in the car. No wonder he showed up late. All right. Kyle Robinson and Richard Wishon has now dropped in a lap of a 121.2, puts him up to second spot. Jason Rabe up to third. All these guys are within a tenth of a second. Richard, Kyle, and Jason at the top of the marker so far. Everybody's got a couple more laps they can run. We'll see if these guys that were quick in practice can stay quick in the qualifying session. So far, Kyle has shown that that is a big yes. He is on his out lap now after going in and getting a new set of tires and fuel. Coming out again, we got 4.5 minutes left to give this a shot. It's about 1 minute and 20 seconds around. So they need 240 to get around twice. That's the warm-up lap and the second lap, which is usually what they're going to need. He looks like he has plenty of time as he comes around turn 5, the hairpin. Getting ready to drop down into the corkscrew. Still just 15 out here tonight. We got quite a few guys that are missing in action this weekend. We've got plenty to make a race out of it with 15 drivers. Here comes Kyle throwing down his next lap. He's coming around through the final set of corners here, finishing up his out lap, getting ready to run. Let's see if he does anything surprising as we go across the line. Still no one's been able to knock him off the top of the pylon from his last lap. We'll watch him do another one and see if he can improve. It's close. It's very close. The top 6 all within a couple of tenths here. The field is tight. I think that's an understatement. Kyle, Richard, Jason, Kevin, Emmett, Josh, Brandon, Rick, Greg, and Philip are the top 10 at the moment. They're all going to have a couple more laps. Let's see if Kyle can knock out a quick one here and solidify that top spot, put it out of reach for anybody. Right now, as close as it is, anyone in the top 7 or 8 can grab this pole position. As Josh Baling just does. And that gap is minute. That is 3/100ths of a second. Josh Baling takes the top spot with a 121.153. He might have a little more on his second lap. We'll see what he does on this one coming across the line now. throws down. No quicker. No quicker on that one. He's going to have to see if he can get it quicker on the next one. Wish on in the pits. These guys are calling it a day here. Here's Philip Scott. It's been off for a few weeks now. He's back in the saddle and he's trying to get back into the groove. See what he can do. We got a few cars still out there with time left. We have the 74 of Rick Wishon. He is just, well, I guess we'll just stay here with the noise of the dog playing with a bottle. Rick trying to land his best lap, pulls up to P8, 121.8, does not improve. Emmett Lindquist also does not improve. The number 1 car, Josh Bailing, still at the top, 121.1, does not improve as well. Everybody real close together. Here comes Philip Scott across. We'll see if he makes any improvements. As he drops 122.1, 9/10 of a second back, and here's the chance for Kyle Robinson with time running out, coming across the start-finish line. Can he take the top spot away? No. No, he cannot. Last lap, 121.813, not fast enough. And that is going to do it for qualifying. Josh Bailing is going to have the pole position. Kyle Robinson on the outside of row 1. Richard Wishon, Jason Rabe on row 2. Kevin Cantonio and Emmett Lindquist will be on row 3. Brandon Dooley and Rick Wishon will be on row 4. And Greg Prochnow and Philip Scott will round out row 5. We do have more drivers out there. Carl Ribbing, Ryan Fry will be on row 6. Michael Mooney and Jeff Wyatt on row 7. Let's get them lined up. Let's get out there on the racetrack. We'll get these guys lined up and get this race going. 15 drivers on the racetrack.
Welcome to Barber, boys. And no lady. Let's have a good, clean race. We have some crazy high-speed corners. Make sure that you are aware of the cars in front of you and the braking and the chicanes. Let's have a good one.
There's our race control.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, here we go. We're getting them lined up, ready to go. The green lights will be on in just a second. It says they're ready to go. Everybody's on the racetrack. Cars warming up. Tires will be smoking here in just a second. Lights go green. Bernie waves the flag. The cars get away. And Josh Bailing is going to move in front of Kyle Robinson. Yeah, Kyle Robinson. That is on point for P1. Josh Bailing up front as they get started. Everybody pretty close. Looks like a little bit of shuffle back in the back of the pack. Ryan Fry and Carl Ribbing changed spots as they were running. And looks like Ryan got ahead into P11. Still nose to tail throughout the field. Josh trying to pull away. Kyle taking it easy here with a 1 second gap. It looks to me like this battle for second is going to be the spot to watch here at the beginning of the race. Is Josh pulling away and Richard not giving any room to Kyle here. Kyle's trying to stay here in P2, not having a great start. Maybe he was hoping for it. Josh got the jump on him and he's pulled away now to a 1.2 second lead on this first lap. tires, it can definitely change. If Josh is pushing those too hard, then maybe that'll switch around on the next one as we see Josh going across the line, followed by Jason, Richard, and is that Mr. Cantonio moving up? Oh, and Emmett Lindquist and Kevin Cantonio side by side through two. Watching this. Oh, Kevin goes wide. Kevin goes wide. What's going to happen there? He gathered it back up and he lost a bunch of spots. Let's see if we can catch a quick replay on that one. We got to make some adjustments. What happened to Kevin coming across the start-finish line here? He's battling side by side with Emmett Lindquist. Emmett gets around the outside as they enter two, not quite far enough to make a difference. Kevin just goes super wide, exits out of three, a little bit too far over. And he hangs on to that with a little bit of a wiggle and loses a spot to Rick. Wow, what a move. Back up to live action here. We've got Josh up in the front now, and Richard Wishon has gotten by Kyle Robinson. Richard, let's see if we can catch that one. As they come off of turn 3. Oh, that's through the kink. That is through the kink. That's turns 10 and 11, coming down into 13, 12 and 13. Under braking, and Richard takes away the spot. As Kyle Robinson now is plummeting through the field. Let's see what happened to Kyle. He's side by side. Oh, he goes into the pits. Kyle has gone into the pit lane. That might be, let's go back up to live action. Kyle, why is Kyle in the pits? He has stopped his car. He's gone to the back of the pack. Not sure what's going on with that. Hopefully we can get a report later on as to why Kyle dropped back in the pit lane. He's back going again. I wonder if he had a fuel issue or if maybe he had something set wrong. Maybe he needed a newly matched set of tires. I don't know. But that puts somebody that was definitely up front in a contender back into the garage and back to the back of the pack. He is far behind with a 20-second gap now back to the driver in front of him. And he will not be happy with that one. All right, Josh, Jason, those guys are teammates out in front. Josh has the 3-second lead over his teammate. Jason seems to be gaining on him, though. But yeah, that white Porsche out front is gone. Emmett Lindquist in the 40 right here on Jason's bumper. That gap is only 0.4 of a second, and he's got company. Richard Wishon has dropped from second back to fourth as these guys have just gotten by. Jason and Emmett have just gotten by. Maybe it's that P2. Maybe whoever's in P2 is going to have a problem. I don't know. Kevin Cantonio was lining him up. Didn't quite get enough on it. We'll see if he can get him up the hill here. Coming off of turn 4 into the brake zone. Not close enough. Kevin hangs on to P5 with Richard still in front of him. Brandon Dooley is running P7 right behind Rick Wishon. The Porsches seem to have this thing figured out. 3 Porsches up front, followed being chased by an Audi and a Ferrari. And then Rick in another Porsche. And then the BMW and then the Mercedes. It looks to me like Porsche is taking advantage of the newly released car, and that might be the case as everybody seems to be in that car and it seems to be quick. They can change cars without a penalty each week to week. They don't have to drive the same car. There are quite a few drivers that will not swap cars, though. You can notice that Brandon Dooley always in the BMW, Philip Scott always running the Merc. Those guys usually will not swap positions. And our leader, Josh Bailey, just set the fastest lap of the race, and that is a 121.564, and that's race pace, folks. That's not a qualifying lap, that is race pace. He is hauling. Now with a 3.5 second lead over his teammate. The battle heating up back here still between second and 8th place. 9th place, everybody pretty close together here. They're all here in line. Jason in P2. Emmett P3. Richard in P4. Kevin P5. Rick in P6. Still just ahead of Brandon, who's in P7. Sprint race, this one is going to run 12 laps. They're going to do 12 and then they're going to flip over and they're going to run, I believe it is 24. I'll give you a number here in just a second. 30. We're going to do 30 laps in the features. 12 in the sprint, 30 in the feature. Nice long race for the features. Some great action running here tonight. As Emmett Lindquist has moved up into second spot. There he is. Let's see if we can catch that one. Coming through turn 13-14 complex. Around 15, looks like he's got a good run off of turn 13 over the hill. That's across the start-finish line into turn 1, and Emmett hangs on. That's not turn 1, that's turn 5. Up the hill off of turn 3 was where that developed, and into turn 5 made the pass. Emmett Lindquist moves into second spot. Back to live action, it looks like Jason is under attack. He has Richard Wishon and Kevin Cantone both moving up on him. And he has just a gaggle of cars behind him. And it looks like Kevin is going to get past Richard here into turn 1. That's close though. Almost touching. Whoops, wrong guy. As Kevin holds off Richard and he takes away that 4th position and now has his sights set on Jason Rabe in front of him. Kevin, the lead running Ferrari out there. iRacing does a pretty good job of trying to keep them all balanced, but right now with that new Porsche out there, everybody seems to like that thing. A lot of guys driving. Top 5 though, we have the Ferrari, the Audi, and the 3 Porsches. And it looks to me like the lead has shrunk. Emmett, since he's gotten past Jason, has caught the leader. Emmett now has that gap to the lead down to 6 tenths of a second. May have been a bobble there from Josh. Get everybody that close, but yeah, because he was 4 seconds ahead, and now 4 seconds is all the way back to 8. So Josh had a little bobble there somewhere. Hangs on to the lead. Emmett is going to hunt that down. See if he can take advantage. 3 Porsches out front, trying to keep the Ferrari behind him. Mic quiet. Well, the mic's cranked. Turn the car sounds down. Let me know if that helps out there, Beezy. Let me know, buddy. I gotta know. Inquiring minds gotta know. Mike. Too quiet? No bueno. But I have it cranked up as high as it'll go, so we'll see if that helps. Give me a heads up, let me know. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. And Jeff Wyatt losing a spot there to Carl Ribbing. Let's see if we can catch that. Pass from Carl. On the instant replay, Carl coming down in tight on the corner. Jeff goes wide. Oh, and he just leaves the door wide open there. I believe that's turn 5. Yeah, that's turn 5 coming off the hill there and down into the corkscrew. Good pass there by Carl Ribbing, paying attention and keeping it right where he needed to. Back to live action. And back up to the front. Kevin and Richard still pushing hard on Jason's bumper. Kevin going around the outside, going to try to make this work. Goes too wide. Oh, he takes it too far. And that's going to drop him way back down the order again. He's going to have to fight back through the field again. Jason holds on to that P2. Richard Wishon, now his turn to see if he can do anything as they dive into turn 5 here. Can Richard get the jump? He's got a good run in that Audi. Let's see if he can get the jump down to the corkscrew. Not really a good place to try anything. He's got a run on him, but side by side through the corkscrew, ill-advised, I would say. Ill-advised. I have seen it a couple times in IndyCar, but it doesn't usually work out well. So Jason in the 3rd spot, trying to hold that down. He has Richard Wishon, Rick Wishon, Brandon Dooley, and Philip Scott all right behind him. And Greg Prochnow has also caught up. Oh, and is that Richard going wide? Is that Richard losing it again? Oh! It seems like anybody that catches up to the back of Jason Rabe loses control. Does he keep it off the fence? No, he does not. And Jason holds on to the spot again. Jason P2, everyone trying to catch him, everyone trying to pass. Rick Wishon's turn as he and Brandon Dooley are now moved up to 4th and 5th position. Well, I know, you got to tell me if it's better. You can't just say we must know. I need to know. I can't hear it. I can't hear myself out there. Let me know if it's better. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. He's letting me know. He's letting me know it's better. So, sound is better. Appreciate that. Not sure why you're not racing. You won the race in the JNR series, and now you're watching. So, I mean, whatever chicken, you know, you hatched in between the races, you know, we'll see what happens there. Brett out on the stream, not racing with the fastest car in the JNR series. Josh out front, 0.3 of a second. The lead up front is closing. Emmett Lindquist trying to get that away, trying to pull that first position away from Josh. Extremely hard to pass here, as you've seen so far. The drivers are really challenged with trying to get around each other. As Josh holds on once again, and Jason holds off all coming attackers. Oh, sleepy. Oh, my goodness. He's tired. Okay. All right, win a race. No adrenaline. No extra energy. Just sleepy. All right. Sounds good. Not really, but, you know, hey, whatever. We have 2, maybe 3 races here in a race. Sprint race lap 11. They're just about done here. Can Josh hold off Emmett Lindquist for this victory? We got 1 to go this time by. We'll see how it runs. Jason Rabe, I'm not sure if these guys are pushing too hard to get by at this point. All the top 5 are the only 5 that are going to get points. So Josh down to Brandon getting some points here off of this race. And they both go wide. Emmett in the 40 car is off and into the wall. Oh, Josh goes wide and Emmett loses it. And that moves everybody up in front of Emmett. Emmett's going to drop way back right now to P7. Let's see if he can get that going again. Nope, he can't. He's dropping. Emmett plummets through the field, stuck in turn 14. 1 to go as Josh out front, Jason teammate in P2, followed by Rick, Brandon, Philip Scott up to 5th, Greg Prochnow up to 6th, Ryan up to 7th. Carl Ribbing has the spot you want. P8. No points, but P8 puts you on the front. We'll put him on the pole for the next race if he can hold on to where he's at. And from the looks of the track, I don't think anybody's going to take it away from him. Kevin Cantonio is going to try, though. This is an interesting spot right here. Let's see what happens here. This is for P8. The teal and pink car, that is Ryan Fry. He's in 7th. Carl Ribbing in the green Porsche. He's in 8th. And Kevin Cantonio in 9th. If Kevin can get by one of these two, he puts himself on the pole for the feature race after his incidents trying to get around everybody. He's going to push it. You know he's going to try. Coming through the kink last time. This is the final lap, so try to see if he can get him into 13. tough place to pass. Ryan Fry goes wide on the entrance. Kevin, off into the grass, making the attempt. Does not make it work. Holds on to it, though. What a save. And he's going to end up in ninth. Josh Baling takes the win.
Whoa, that was crazy.
Josh,
that was, a lot
Jason,
more action than I was expecting to be in after not driving for months.
yeah, Jason in P2. Rick Wishon takes third. Brandon Dooley, fourth place. Philip Scott with points in P5. Excited about his finish. Greg Prochnow, sixth. Ryan Fry holds on to seventh with Carl Ribbon, Kevin Cantonio racing behind him. Carl takes P8, and that's going to throw him to the front of the field as they get started here, and we're going to do just a quick 3-minute warm-up between this one and the next one. Banana pudding. Hey, hold on. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some pudding. I don't know where I can get some, but I'm going to try to go get some. We got 2.5 minutes of warm-up. We'll see if any takers. Yeah, there's a couple takers. Brandon's going to try to see how he can do. But pudding, really? Banana pudding. Hang on. I'll be right back. Okay, Brett. I don't have banana pudding, but I did find a banana. And I got Pop-Tarts heating up in the toaster right now. So banana and Pop-Tarts to match your banana pudding. We'll see how that works. Warm-up is over. We're going to flip them over from spot number 8 to spot number 1. That puts Carl Ribbing on the point. As we're going to line them up. Oh, come on now.
Welcome to the feature. Let's keep it clean. That was a fantastic race. Nothing else to say. Keep it moving. Have a great time, boys.
All right, we'll give everybody about 2 minutes, minute and a half, 2 minutes to... Oh, that's a good idea, but I'm already eating the banana. I'm already chewing on it.
Well, also, if there's anything that you guys do not see me mark as investigated, that means I missed it in the software. Please just let me know over the radio. Thank you very much.
Race control provided. Oh, and they're ready to go green. We're getting ready. Lights are green. The cars are a go. Carl Ribbing out in the front. We'll see what he can do as Jason Rabe jumps into the middle, puts it almost 3 wide into 1. Can they get through clean? They do almost. A little bumping between teammates there, Jason and Josh, as Kevin has the inside line on Jason going up the elevator. But Jason, with that outside power, takes it away. Carl out in front, followed by Ryan, Greg, and Brandon. Brandon hits a really good run off of that corner. But that's not a real good place to try to pass. We'll see what happens here as they get to the corkscrew. Brandon wisely lets it go. See if he can get Greg Brush now next time around on another corner. Philip Scott has gotten up to... My car's in order here. Philip Scott gotten up to P6. Oh, and Brandon right on the back of Greg. Man, you can't get any closer to the bumper as they go through the kink there. 12 and 13. Back around 14, 15 across the start-finish line here. And Carl hangs on to the lead for lap 1, followed by Ryan, Greg, Brandon, Jason, Philip, Josh, Kevin, Richard, and Emmett are your top 10. All 15 that started the sprint are in the race now. Oh, Brandon almost had the inside line on Greg there, but Greg just shut the door. And Kevin fighting with Josh. Josh with the run around the outside, might have a spot here. Diving down into the brake zone for turn 5. Josh and Kevin side by side still as they exit. Oh, and Josh turns. Josh turns in turn 5, catches the wall. And Josh drops back to the back. That's going to put him back into the last position. Lap 2 of 30 fighting for position. That was for P7. And Kevin holds on to P7 as they continue on. Up front, Carl starting to pull away from Ryan. And Ryan under pressure here. Under pressure from Greg Prochnow and Brandon Dooley, Jason Rabe, all in chase. Ryan trying to get a run on Carl, 0.6 of a second the gap to the front after just less than a half a second between the rest of them. Pretty much all the way back. Carl with a good run down the front straightaway. Can Greg get that run? Can Brandon get the run? If anybody goes wide here in 2, the car behind him is going to just sneak right in there. Brandon looks like he's quicker, but he just can't get around. And Carl blinks out and back on the racetrack. Hopefully that is just an internet issue and will not end in... Oh, and Ryan, was that a touch? Was Ryan helped? Let's see if we can get a replay on that one. We'll get a different camera angle because I couldn't see it from there. No, not going to be able to catch it. Not going to be able to catch it. But it looks like he may have gotten a little bit of assistance. Yeah, he did. He got some assistance for sure. There's a pop. And that puts Ryan over into the off the track. He pulls back onto the racetrack in P11. Loses a ton of spots. And that's probably going to be a penalty on... Oh, and Brandon Dooley takes the lead. Carl Ribbing having some issues. That bump there from the 212, he holds back to try to get back to position, and that lets Brandon get by. And Brandon driving by Carl Ribbing. Carl blinking in and out. Jason Rabe is up into second place as Carl's just having all kinds of problems and dropping back in the field, I think, with his issue. Boom, boom, boom. All kinds of stuff going on. Richard Wishon and Kevin Cantonio is coming up next, and that is not going to be good here. We'll see if we can catch it. Not sure how far back we are in the timing, but this group here right together. Back in the field. These are the guys that finished up front trying to battle back through the field. And it looks like somewhere in here. Jason, is that... Oh, and that's Josh going... We're just going to have to keep watching. I got to get back to real time to see what's going on. There's the 974 and the 5 car side by side. Oh, the 974 pushes over. Doesn't seem to give him enough room. And that pushes both of those guys back off the racetrack. That's what happened there. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Brandon back up on the point. He has Jason Rabe, Philip Scott, and that was Rick Wishon just getting by Carl Ribbon. Carl having a heck of a time since the restart.
Drag through, contact, lap.
So the 212, even though he slowed down to try to give that position back, he's still going to get a drive through. Greg Prosh now going through. He's going to have to go through the pit lane on the drive through for that penalty. Carl Ribbing trying to hold on here. It looks like his internet problems have faded. And he's doing okay now, but he has got to hold off Emmett Lindquist, who's wanting that spot. Kyle Robinson, Kevin Cantonio battling back here for position, and as Brandon gets the fastest lap of the race. After that incident, that put Kevin in the back. Kevin now side by side with Kyle Robinson. These guys swapping back and forth as they're trying to do this side by side, and this racetrack really doesn't have a lot of room for side by side, but they're going to try it anyway. Going up through turn 4, down into the hard braking area of turn 5. Ryan Fry just moves ahead of Jeff Wyatt. So catch that pass. As Ryan pulls ahead as they go into the corkscrew. Michael Mooney has had an issue back in the pack. It looks like he has gone off the racetrack, lost a position. Back in P13, struggling, but still in the race and still moving along. Brandon still out front. Jason Rabe trying to catch him. 2.3 seconds the gap, and Brandon is pulling away right now. Starting to stretch that lead out a little bit. Philip Scott in that Mercedes, in third position. I'll let you watch our leader for a couple of laps. I will be right back. Okay, luckily we didn't miss anything. Kevin Cantonio gets by Jeff Wyatt. Let's watch this develop as they go down through the front stretch. And Ryan Fry moves ahead of Kyle Robinson. What's going on? Down into turn one, Ryan gets a jump, but this is not going to end well. Oh, and Ryan misses the corkscrew. Ryan misses the corkscrew off the racetrack. Drops to the back of the field. I think he has pulled out of the race. Yes, I did go to get Pop-Tarts. You know it. You know, if you heat them up in the toaster, they're a lot better. Speaking of the toaster, sponsors. We have our sponsors, Stair Fittings Incorporated. Great sponsors for East to West Racing, Bigg Wizurd TV. Love those guys. Stair Fittings Incorporated. Stairfittings.com. Orders.stairfittings.com. Check them out. Grandpa's Kitchen. Gluten-free flour. These are not gluten-free Pop-Tarts, but they're really good. Grandpa'sKitchen.com, where you get your gluten-free flour and anything you need, like ideas and recipes and things like that. One-to-one replacement for gluten-free flour. And guess what? BWTV gets you a 10% off coupon every single time. BWTV is your code. That's Bigg Wizurd TV. And JNR Craftworks, makers of fine woodworking products of all kinds. And while you're at it, grab a Pop-Tart. If you let them go cold after you heat them up, they're terrible, so I had to go get them. Thought I had time earlier during the break. I didn't. Jason Rabe has closed the gap down to 1.9 seconds. And he's bringing Philip Scott with him. Brandon hitting every corner, going across every curb. Trying to keep that lead, stretches it back out to just over 2 seconds. Philip Scott getting the handle on this Mercedes. Staying right with Jason Rabe here. These guys are second and third, battling away just a half a second apart. Trying to catch up with Brandon Dooley. It's Jeff Wyatt. Kevin Cantonio dropping back again. What happened to Kevin? Kevin's been running good. He seems to have to keep climbing back up through the field. He's right here on the back of Kyle Robinson, who's in 8th position. And he's going to drop back behind those other two cars. So something happens. I think he's going to go wide. Oh, he's right on the back bumper. He's close. Oh, and he spins. Oh, my goodness. He keeps it off the wall. He keeps it off the wall. Kevin will be back. You know it. Lap 10 of 30, he will definitely be back. Back up front, Brandon Dooley, 2.5 seconds to lead. Jason Rabe in this battle here for second with Philip Scott. Rick Wishon and Emmett Lindquist. This is probably going to be our next battle. But Rick is just holding them off. The 99 of Philip Scott trying every spot he can. Kyle Robinson gets by Carl Ribbing, and Jeff Wyatt drops his spot. To Josh Bailey. Kyle Robinson, clear track now. Has a chance to catch. He's got 4 guys in front of him that are all right together. Right here, there's 5 actually right behind Brandon. Brandon's still with a 2.5 second gap though. These 4 right here, you can see Kyle right there in the background, the red and blue car. And he wants to gain on these guys, see if he can catch them. Get on the podium. Guess what kind of Pop-Tarts? The best kind ever. Guess what kind? Waiting for your guess. Waiting for your guess. Pop-Tarts were great. Just finished them up. Gotta let me know what you think. What kind of Pop-Tarts Bigg Wizurd has when he has a choice of any Pop-Tart in the world. Kevin Cantonio has dropped from the race. Kevin has dropped. Lap 12. Kevin is out. Brown sugar and cinnamon.
Apologize for
No. But I appreciate you being out here and watching with us. I love the answer.
Drive-through for
Brown sugar and cinnamon.
Car number 5, lap 4.
No.
Due to technical difficulties.
Strawberry, also a no. Strawberry is the go-to Pop-Tart, the number one go-to. I'm not a number one go-to kind of guy. I have my own style, my own kind of Pop-Tart. Philip Scott, after being up in the front, dropping back through the field in the 99 car. Issues for Philip Scott in the 99. Oh, and he kind of dives in a little tight there on the 2 car, trying to get that spot from Jason Rabe. A little bit too tight. I think he caused his own problem. Maybe Jason didn't give him enough room. Very dangerous on the re-entry there. Philip not excited to be in that position. No more guesses? Just the one? Cinnamon? Brown sugar and cinnamon is a good Pop-Tart, I have to admit. It's a good Pop-Tart. But it's frosted cherry, guys. Frosted cherry is the Pop-Tart. That is the Pop-Tart. You can't beat it. Brown sugar and cinnamon's pretty good, gotta admit. Brandon's still out front. Philip Scott drops back a bunch of positions. Richard Wishon is in the pits. The 974 coming in the pits to make his stop. We are on lap 14 of 30, so he's cutting it pretty much in half. Just before half, Richard comes in. When will we see the rest of them? Greg Prochnow did go through. I think that was a drive-through, though, from his lap 1 incident. Put him back to P12. That was a lap 5 drive-through. 21 seconds is the drive-through penalty. And Brandon is catching up with Greg now, after Greg having a few issues of his own. Jason Rabe in P2 with company. He's got Rick Wishon, Emmett Lindquist, Kyle Robinson right with him here. Okay, he's got Rick Wishon and Emmett Lindquist right with him. Kyle Robinson still second half back, but you'll see him as they come across. There he is. As they come across the start-finish line here. Let's go back to live action, because you know we can. Ooh, and Kyle just blinked out. He's back. This battle here for, looks like 5th position, 4th position. This is a tight one here. Third. It's actually 3rd. Rick Wishon has 3rd. Jason Rabe in 2nd. Rick trying to get a run on him. Looking inside, looking outside. Emmett doing the same. If Emmett can get the spot, he'll be able to push. Right now it's Rick's turn to push. And Mooney moves ahead as Richard Wishon back in the pit lane. I believe that was a drive-through. We'll see. He's stopping now. Maybe he did his drive-through last lap. As this battle for second heating up, is Kyle Robinson catching up. 2, 3, 4, and 5 right together on the racetrack. And all of them in the Porsche. Chasing down Brandon in the BMW. Brandon moving up as Rick takes over the point. As everybody else dives for pit lane. Lap 15. Starting lap 16, the end of lap 15. Everybody into the pits. Carl Ribbing moves up. Philip Scott moves back up. We've got a pile of cars in pit lane. Everybody in getting service. Looks like Emmett went too far and had to back up. And hopefully that did not actually give him a lap. Was that Emmett? That was Emmett. There he goes back down to P7. When is Brandon going to come in? Brandon out front by a good margin now. 5 seconds over. There's the black and green Porsche of Rick Wishon. Carl Ribbing back behind them by another 6 or 7 seconds. And Jason still out in the pits in front of Kyle Robinson. Emmett Lindquist with that. I had to back up a little bit. Lost the spot. Kyle trying to chase down Jason. And Josh Bailey gets by Mooney. And that was for position. Let's see if we can catch that one. I believe this is turn 3 up the hill. And Josh just gets a good run down into the brake zone. Looks like he's got the inside. Hard under the brakes. Mooney tries to get the corner, but has to leave him a little bit of room there. And that's enough for Josh to squeak through and take away that spot. Let's keep an eye on our leader. As he has gone again past the pit lane. Not ready to take his stop yet. Through the corkscrew. Our leader, Brandon Dooley, out front right now by 4.5 seconds over Rick Wishon. Rick and Brandon have not yet pit. The battle coming out of the pits was the battle right now that's 5th position on the racetrack. These guys were battling for second. So Jason, Kyle, and Emmett all battling for second spot, and they were battling with Rick. So Philip Scott gets by Carl. Is that a straight up pass? That was, and that is just the 99 car going through the chicane at a high rate of speed there, coming through that 10-11 complex and just takes it as they dive into 12. Hits a hard amount of curbing, but does hold on to the position. Let's see what happens here, as these guys are going to have to go into the pit lane sooner or later, but not yet. Not yet. Brandon Dooley, Rick Wishon, Philip Scott, Carl Ribbing have still not yet pit. And then that puts Jason Rabe, Kyle Robinson, Emmett Lindquist fighting for what should be P2 after the pit exchange. Right now, P5. Kyle looking for room, trying to get around. Turn 5 seems to be the best passing zone opportunity for most of the drivers tonight. Unless somebody's making a mistake, turn 5 looks like the spot, but not able to get it. As Kyle pushing hard, trying to get that spot away, but not able to do so. And Emmett has caught them, and Josh is also in chase. Brandon Dooley comes into the pits. Brandon Dooley in the pit lane, giving up the lead to Rick Wishon, staying out of the track in that Audi. See if he can do another lap. As Philip Scott, Carl Ribbing goes by, we'll see where Brandon comes out with the drivers here. He should still have the lead unless he has an error or a mistake. As they come around the final corner up the straightaway, Brandon is on the gas, out of the pit lane, going in for turn 2, and yes, will hold the lead as these guys have already pit. And does a good job, comes out of the pits 4.5 seconds ahead of Jason Rabe in that 5th position. Now the question is, where is Rick going to land? How is his in-lap and out-lap going to work out? And can he get in front of those guys and stay in front of them? He was in the 2nd spot. Jason Rabe was in the 2nd spot. He was in 3rd. Where will he land when he comes out of the pits? We will find out. We'll see if he's going in. Not this time. Not this time. He's going to stay out front. Getting some good gas mileage out of that Porsche. Philip Scott, is he going to go in? No, also stays out. Carl Ribbing, also staying out. These top 3 staying out. We are on lap 20 of 30. They've got 11 to go. And these 3 still have to pit. It's going to take quite an effort for Rick to stay out in front of Brandon. Unless there's an issue back there, Brandon should be able to regain the lead. The question is, where is Rick going to drop when he comes back out of the field, out of the pit lane, among Jason, Kyle, and Emmett? This battle here, currently for 5th, will be the battle for 2nd. When we see Rick come back out of the pits. But Rick goes by once again, not into the pit lane yet. Rick holding on in the 74 here. He's got quite a gap between him and 2nd place Philip Scott. He's got 7 seconds the gap. And we'll see if he comes in this time. This will be the chance. If he's coming in, and there he goes into the pit lane. And I really want to see where this comes out. Will the 99 and the 44 follow him in? That's another question we have to see. The 99 stays on the racetrack. The 44 does go in pit lane. So Rick and Carl in the pit lane. Philip Scott goes by for the lead. Rick is just pulling into his pit stall right now and comes to a stop as Brandon goes around turn 16, coming across the start-finish line. Here's the battle for 2nd as they're coming around. Is he back in motion? Oh, he's getting tires. He's getting tires with 9 laps to go in the race. I think that's going to put him back. That is going to put him back. He is not going to catch up with these guys. These guys are already out and through turn 2. And that puts Rick back in P8 after that exchange. Ooh, Philip Scott, last one out. Last one on the track that has not yet pit. I do not believe there's any way he can make it to the end of this without pitting. He's got 8 to go this time by. We'll see if he dives in. Everybody else has been in. Brandon Dooley back up to 2nd. The battle for 5th has moved up to the battle for 3rd. Jason Rabe, Kyle Robinson, Emmett Lindquist. Josh Bailing is still trying to gain on those guys, but has fallen back a little bit. And Mooney and Jeff go by as Rick has a problem. Rick, what happened? As Rick is trying to catch up here to Carl Ribbing, who got out of the pits right in front of him. And he gets a little loose. Spins it around, loses a couple spots. From the point to the back, Rick Wishon not having the race he wanted. Philip Scott still out in the front, still did not yet pit. Philip Scott in the Mercedes. They no longer have the fuel saving feature. You can't set the car to fuel save. So Philip, if he's going to try to run this the whole way without stopping, he has had to do it. Saving fuel the whole way. And Mooney has been been passed now by a couple cars. He just got passed by Jeff Wyatt and Rick Wishon. And he has dropped back. Sure, and Mooney comes into the pit lane. That's probably why. Philip Scott's going to have to come in sooner or later. See if this is it. See if this is his lap to go in. It is. Philip Scott's going to give up the lead. Brandon Dooley is going to take it away. That's Philip rolling into the pit entrance, and Brandon coming through turn 14 and is going to take the lead here in just a moment, putting the battle for second position between Jason, Kyle, and Emmett right back onto the podium. As Philip comes into a stop in his pit lane, we see Brandon go by, and the second place battle goes by. And will Josh get by as well? We'll see. Philip should be moving again, but not quite quick enough, as Josh goes by as well, putting Philip back to P6. Brandon Dooley out front, 3.5 seconds, the gap. Back to Jason Rabe, Kyle Robinson, Emmett Lindquist. This battle here for P2. This is 2 of these 3 cars are going to make the podium. It looks to me at this point, with 7 to go next time by, that Brandon may have, unless he makes a mistake, may have the win. He is in command of this race so far. These 3 are battling to see who else is going to join him on the podium. Jason Rabe currently holds P2. Kyle Robinson in the blue and red holds P3, and Emmett Lindquist in the yellow and black is in P4. Who is going to have it? Who's going to take it? Will they battle it out enough to wreck each other or themselves, spin out, or anything else trying to get that spot away? We're going to find out. We're going to watch this one right to the end. Lap 23 of 30 as they finish that up. There are 7 to go right now. Everybody takes their own time to set the cars up, to tune them, to make them the right angles and cambers and casters and everything, tire pressures, everything they can do within the rules and within the guidelines to set the car up. My car is going to be set up just a little bit different than yours. These guys have options to get professional setups that are out there, seeing if they can use those to help them out as they dive down into turn 5 one more time. Hard on the brakes. Emmett's right on the back bumper. Oh, and Emmett comes around. He's a little too close there, and he comes around and loses that spot. That is going to make it difficult. He's got to wait for the number 1 of Josh Baling to go by. He gets the car straighted, and there goes Philip Scott up to P5, and Emmett just not where he wanted to be as the 2 of them got real close together. Hard onto the brakes, and he loses it going into 5. Kyle Robinson stays in P3 and now is trying to see if he can line up Jason Rabe to see if he can take away that second position. Now, this is the interesting... Oh, is Kyle really has a problem there as he goes through the kink. That one did not help him. Now, you got to look at the teams here, because Brandon Dooley, Kyle Robinson are the SimSport Racing there. That's I don't have all my team numbers right in front of me, do I? Yeah, I do. I got them here somewhere. Race schedules, point standings. That's DRS SimSport, and they are leading the team of Jason Rabe and Josh Baling in Dad Bod Racing. So this is a big deal right here. If Kyle can get up in the front, that would put DRS SimSport in positions 1 and 2. Right now they've got 1st and 3rd, with Dad Bod Racing in 2nd and 4th. So there's only about 340 points separating 1st and 2nd in the team championship. So every point here is going to make a difference. 350 points for 1st, 320 for 2nd, 300 for 3rd. And you add those all up to see what happens at the end. This is the battle to watch. Greg Prochnow in the pit lane. Once again, with just 6 to go, 5 to go this time by, as Brandon is going to cross the line. Oh, and what a great exit. Oh, that looked like a really good exit. Kyle getting a good run down on the inside. He didn't quite have the position over Jason Rabe. And Jason holds on to P2 as they come across the line. And now 5 to go in the race. Barber Motorsports Park, not a disappointment this weekend, as we've got action up front trying to keep these guys in line. Greg Prochnow out of the pit lane. Back on the racetrack. He's going a little slower. He's getting a hold of it, getting it back under control. But Greg is now a lap down and should not be a factor in the outcome of this one. Had a good run at the beginning. Fell back point by point and is now back in P12. Last car running on the racetrack. Brandon Dooley out front, 5 seconds the gap. These guys battling for second is going to leave Brandon some nice breathing room as he's got 5 to go, 4 to go this time by, as he's coming around through turn 13 right now. Turn 13 is so intense, just blind over the corner, over the hill. Car gets light, quite a corner. As we watch the battle for second right behind in the back of the view there, Jason Rabe, Kyle Robinson. Just 0.4 of a second separate those two, and that's for P2. Josh Bailing is 6 seconds back from that battle. Followed by Philip Scott, Emmett Lindquist, who was up in there with him, Carl Ribbing, Jeff Wyatt, Rick Wishon, Richard Wishon. The Wishons were up in the front at the beginning of this one. Have both fallen back in the pack and then gathered it back up to get into the top 10. Michael Mooney in 11th, Greg Prochnow in 12th. Those are the last cars running on the racetrack. Finishing up halfway through lap 27. 3 to go as he crosses the line this time. This is Brandon Dooley, our leader. DRS SimSport on the side. One of the Cleveland Beamer crew. They do endurance races. And that is can't remember what the name of their endurance team is, but they do endurance races. That's a group of drivers that run that endurance team with Brandon and a bunch of other guys that live in the Ohio area. Should be there on his car, and you'd think I could see it and say it, but I can't. I can't find it. I know it's there. Brandon just pulling away as that battle for second still in contention. Kyle Robinson still right there trying to get that spot away from Jason Rabe. Jason Rabe holding on for his dear life. He's been holding him back all day long. Everybody that's gotten close has not been able to get by. Jason running a perfect line today and not letting anyone through. As they come through the kink. Jason a little tight on the inside of that corner there for turn 13 over the hill. Kyle on the bumper. He always seems to get a little run right there as they enter into 16, but then Kyle cannot hold it as Jason pulls away and they go up the front stretch. Line astern, lap 29 of 30, 2 to go. It is 2 laps to go in this 30 lap race, and Kyle is going to do everything he can to try to get that spot away. Kyle with a great run today. Started up front but fell back a little bit on the start, and has been battling through since, battling up here near the front. He went in and pit early, but he also came in on lap 16, so not really sure. Maybe that was the sprint race. Maybe I'm getting my races confused as they go down through the corkscrew. One more chance in the corkscrew. One more chance in turn 5. Can Kyle get a run? Jason Rabe looks like he's holding this spot and holding it well. Both drivers in the Porsche. I don't think either one got tires last time through. Clean racing is what everybody's after here. That's what we want to see. As the winner goes across, that is Brandon Dooley for the win. Jason Rabe takes second spot. Kyle Robinson gets P3. Josh Bailing in the number 1 car across for P4, followed by Philip Scott, Emmett Lindquist in P6. Greg Prochnow comes across the line. He's a lap down. Carl Ribbing comes over. He is going to be in 7th with Jeff Wyatt outrunning Rick Wishon across the line. That is going to be for 8th and 9th. Richard Wishon comes across in 10th. And that is going to be it. We've got Michael Mooney, last car on the lead lap. Coming around the kink now. He's going to finish up this race. Everybody else has crossed the line. Congratulations to Brandon, Jason, and Kyle on the podium. Let's go see if we can get an audience with the drivers in the lobby. They're not in the lobby. A couple of them are. Hey guys, Ron in the broadcast booth. Great racing out there. Jason, what a run. I don't see Brandon in here yet, but Jason, man, what a run holding off Kyle there for I don't know how many laps to keep P2 and up on the podium.
Thankfully, he was trying too hard to pass me, and I think that cost him. Otherwise, he had me. But I'll take it.
Yeah, nice finish for you guys. Both Kyle, man, you were all over out there, up and down through the field, and right behind Jason. It had to be for at least 15 laps of that race, right on his bumper.
Yeah, I had to start in the back because I picked the wrong setup for the sprint race and started qualifying fuel, so that didn't help me and kind of burned the tires off of it the first half of the race, and it just wasn't working the way I needed it to there towards the end. But I'll take a P3 after starting dead last.
Yeah, that was really fun to watch, that battle. And Emmett, Emmett was right with you guys throughout the whole thing, and he just had that small bobble there with a couple laps to go, and threw him back in the pack, and that let Josh go up and take away that P4. That's going to be good points for the team championship. I think DRS is going to pull away just a little, but good run from Dad Bod Racing there today, guys. Nice race.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Brandon. I don't see him here in the lobby, so congrats to Brandon on the win. He took away that, got a good run off the launch and was able to get through some of that carnage early on, and nobody could catch him. So really good run for Brandon. Congratulations to him. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch and fun to call, so hopefully you guys had a good time. And we'll head back over to the broadcast booth and finish this one up. But thanks, guys, for a fun race. Fun to watch. Super clean tonight. I think there was only 2 calls the whole race that I saw. So great job out there. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks, Ron.
Well, there's the race. There's the finishing order. Brandon Dooley, Jason Rabe, Kyle Robinson, Josh Bailing, Philip Scott, Emmett Lindquist, Carl Ribbing, Jeff Wyatt, Rick Wishon, Richard Wishon, Michael Mooney, Greg Prochnow, with Kevin Cantonio, Ryan Fry dropping out early. And that is the lap. That is the 14 drivers that ran laps on this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back again next Sunday for more live racing coverage here with East to West Racing, sponsored by Stair Fittings Incorporated, Grandpa's Kitchen, and JNR Craftworks. Good night, everybody. Be safe out there. Don't race on the road. Race right here with us, East to West Racing. Information in the stream, info on how to get a hold of us and how to race with us. Have a great night. We'll see you guys on the next race.